There. Is it working now? I have no idea. I tell you, my day just went to shit all at once. Seems that it's working. I don't know. We just lost power, or we lost internet for a little bit, and now it's back. But like certain things aren't working. I don't know what's going on. Like I can't log into my store site. Oh, now I can. All morning I haven't been able to log into the store. It's been one of those days. If you can't tell, my eye is all bloodshot because I slept on the couch because the little guy was sleeping with my wife in the bed. And so I slept on the couch and I got a dog hair in my eye at like, I don't know, I guess I blink in my sleep. So at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with extreme pain in my eye. I mean, it's way better because it was like straight blood, like blood looking, but it's better. It's a Monday, just like someone just said. But if you didn't know, this show is sponsored by Switch to America. If you're looking to make a switch, right? If you're tired of supporting all these big companies that are sending all their money over to other countries and all that good stuff, go over to switchtoamerica.com. There you can take a survey. They actually contact you to do the survey, and you can list all the items that you use in your household, and they could tell you how you could switch all those items to American-made products. It's pretty awesome. So go to switchtoamerica.com. They have sponsored this show, so make sure you check it out. Switchtoamerica.com. Choose my name from the drop-down when you submit the form, and someone will contact you and give you the steps on how to do the survey and all this stuff. And they do everything. So they do medical like supplements, they do house cleaning supplies, they do beef. Yeah, you can get American-made beef. And I would like to remind everybody, remember who Smithfield Foods are. Smith Foods. Remember who they are. They're a Chinese-owned company, and they supply the majority of the pork in the United States, or maybe beef too. I don't know. But they supply like 75% of it. They supply like 60% of the world's meat, all processed here in the United States, Smithfield Foods, and they're owned by the Chinese, which is just crazy, right? They have a tremendous amount of factories in the United States. It's crazy. Anyway, go to switchtoamerica.com. Check them out. Fill out the form there. Someone will contact you. It's an amazing, amazing group. Anyway, let's see what else is going on for all of you guys today. There's been a lot of news. Obviously, the terrorist attacked in Atlanta, Georgia yesterday. Again, Cop City came under attack. Police officers were threatened with Molotov cocktails exploding at their feet, fireworks blowing up in their faces. 35 people were arrested, many of whom were from out of Georgia. They weren't even from that state, so they transferred themselves to Georgia to commit domestic terror or acts of domestic terror. So far, of the 35 that were arrested yesterday, 19 have been charged with acts of domestic terror, which is great. I just wish it was more. Like, I wish it was all of them. I wish they, you know what they should have done is they should have been on horseback with lassos and capturing all these little Antifa meth head scumbags that are out there causing all the ruckus. But you know, they don't do everything all old school or just use lethal. I mean, here's the truth. I'm in rare form today, man. If someone throws a Molotov cocktail at you, do you have the right to defend yourself with lethal weapons? I believe you do. I believe if someone is merely holding a Molotov cocktail and hasn't even lit it yet, you should be able to use lethal force. I would go so far to say if one of those Antifa scumbags looks at a rock, they don't even need to be holding it. If they look at a giant pile of rocks, you should be able to use lethal force against them, right? I don't know why they just don't really like all the cops. They should say, hey, we're hiring, because you know that all these little Antifa scumbags would scatter as soon as they find out that there's a job opening because they don't want to work. They live in their parents' bedrooms and all that crap all the time. It's stupid. I hate those people. And I hate how Fox News this morning is calling it a protest. We're calling them protesters. They had a protest. There was a concert to support, shutting down this Cop City. And then And then the protest turned to violence and turned to a riot. Don't call it a protest. It wasn't a protest from the very beginning. It was a act of terror, and it's been a continuous act of terror. But whatever. You know, we can argue this. We've talked about it forever. Nobody really cares. Nobody cares. Just Antifa scumbags. Obviously, I saw the news as well that 4 Americans were kidnapped in Mexico after crossing the border. Shortly after crossing the border, they came under fire by cartel members with long guns and body armor. Several people were killed, and at least 4 Americans, including a female, were thrown into the back of pickup trucks or other vehicles, and they were, kidnapped. And so nobody knows where they are. But that's news right there. And I know Fox News has been talking about it a lot. This weekend was an interesting weekend because there was a lot of violence throughout the United States. You had CPAC going on. You have this rift now because of Michael Knowles with the Daily Wire made some comment about transgenderism and saying that we need to eradicate transgenderism, and the left lost their minds, saying that, see, this is what we fight against because the right wants to eradicate transgender people, which is not what Michael Knowles, or I think that's his name. That's not what he said. He said he wants to eradicate transgenderism, which is the thing that they're doing every place that is like, hey, it's okay to do it. Personally, for me, I don't care. I don't care if some dude wants to be a girl and dresses up in a dress. I don't care. That's something they're going to have to deal with God later on. It doesn't affect me. I don't know why so many people get affected by it. I know there's the MAGA lady that was at CPAC. And so you have a big divide going on with social media because this MAGA lady dresses up like a woman, but it's not like the same kind of stuff that you like drag queen story hours and all that. Nah, the dude dresses up like Cinderella with a beard or wears something over the beard to hide the beard and then goes out and prances around wearing, like fucking 1800s queen clothing. You know what I mean? Like the 5,000 layers and all that stuff. But of course, a lot of conservatives are like, that's not conservative at all, and blah, blah, blah. And how could you say it's conservative? And going back and forth. And I just don't care. CPAC was a rhino fest. If you didn't pay attention, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it was all rhinos. The best speech of the whole thing was Mark Robinson, the lieutenant governor from North Carolina. Like, that dude needs to run for president, because I could tell you right now, if he announced his candidacy for president, I would probably stop everything I do and join his campaign team, because his speech was amazing. His speech was the most patriotic speech I've heard in a long time. Donald Trump did get up Saturday at 5:30 or Friday at 5:30, and he gave a speech as well. It was more of the same. Like, I saw a lot of people online that were like, "Oh, best speech ever." Okay, you would have said that if he was snoring while sleep, and he was like sleeping like this. Oh, make America great. They would have been like, best speech ever. You know what I mean? Because they're just on his balls. I think the best speech of the entire everything was Mark Robinson speaking, because he gave the whole, why he's in politics. He gave the whole story about wanting to be in politics and how he doesn't want to be. And then he talked about World War II and people that were serving over there and how no one would ask them, did you want to come here? Like, it was very, very, his speech was very good. And I encourage all of you to try to find it and play it, because it was that good. It was one for the days. You know what I mean? But he's apparently going to run for governor, not for president. But I can honestly think, if you want to unify the American or conservative votes, have a person like that come in. All right. A person that got his name by going in and talking about crime and how they're trying to remove the Second Amendment rights. That's how he got to start. He went to like a town meeting. And he's like, I've served this military, blah, blah, blah. I'm not giving up my guns. And then he ran for lieutenant governor and won. That was his first dabble in politics, I believe. But I thought his speech was really good. Everyone knows where I am in terms of Donald Trump being president again. I don't really want it. I don't think it's beneficial. Not that I think that he would do a bad job as president. No, I just think the hatred for Donald Trump is something that's not going to be able to be surpassed. We're not going to be able to get past that point of everyone hating Donald Trump. That's my belief. I just don't think it's going to happen, which is sad, because I think that if people like, I've always maintained that if Donald Trump wasn't on Twitter, he'd still be president to this day because he would have given the media nothing to go after, right? All of his speeches and all of the stuff that he did, even though like they'll be like, oh, he said, all immigrants that are coming from the southern border are rapists and blah, blah, and murderers. And when you play the whole clip, that's not what he said. The losers and suckers thing, remember? He allegedly said that about members of our armed services. The media still reports that as if it's fact, even though it's been disproven by every single person, including people that didn't like him that day, that he never said it. It's like, the secret, like he attacked Secret Service on January 6th, right? Grabbed one of them by the throat. They all say it's true. They all say it's real, except the Secret Service agents that he allegedly grabbed by the throat. We're like, nope, never happened. We're willing to testify. So they just keep moving on and doing the same thing. DeSantis, I don't know. Everyone is infatuated with Ron DeSantis's boots. Like I got a weird thing. Like I'm thinking a lot of these Trump pundits that are on social media right now making fun of DeSantis. It's like they're choosing that they're going to rep Trump and not rep DeSantis, and they're all commenting about Ron DeSantis's feet all the time. And to me, it's weird. Like, is there a weird foot fetish going on with these weirdos? Like, they just keep commenting on it. Like, one person called cowboy boots high-heeled shoes. I'm like, you're an idiot. Have you never worked a day in your life? Like, people are just crazy, man. They're just crazy. I don't care who runs for president of the United States. If I had my choice, it would be someone like Mark Robinson, right? Someone that actually truly appears to give a shit about this country. They're not, granted, Mark Robinson in his speech did talk about CRT and anti-woke and all that stuff. All of those are like buzzwords. Those are the things. Can you imagine a politician right now speaking but not talking about those buzzwords? Like someone that was just giving a speech right now and was like, hey, we're not going to mention CRT. We're not going to mention woke this. We're not going to mention this. We're not going to mention Disney. We're not going to mention all of this stuff, and actually talked about America and talked about the country or talked about life. It'll never happen because, again, you need these buzzwords. You need to talk about woke ideology. You need to talk about CRT in schools. You need to talk about the perversions of the left, and transphobia and trans people and this and that and this and that. Listen, frankly, I just don't care anymore about that. Like, I don't care. I don't care about trans shit. I don't care. I take that back because I do care about trans shit. I care that the USA powerlifting now has to allow transgender people to compete with women. What happened to women's rights? What happened to making women equal? Because now men can identify as women and go and destroy the field and compete as women, which is insane in powerlifting. In powerlifting, keep in mind, like the one JC, Cooper, whatever the hell the name is, of the transgender dude that sued in order to be able to compete in USA powerlifting with women. His deadlift 383, bench 202, and squat under 4, right? As a man with those powerlifting records, you suck. Like, you're horrible. You're not placing anywhere. And as a heavy man, like 185 pounds or so, or 185 kilos. So that means he's over 200 pounds. But then you go and compete as a woman, and all of a sudden he's got a decent deadlift. He's got a decent bench press. He's got a decent squat. So that's why he's going to do it. Mark Lobliner, an IBFFF, whatever, pro. He's also on Twitter, a conservative guy that comments all the time, but he's also a powerlifter and longtime strength trainer. He said that, enough is enough. He said male athletes should go and say they identify as women and go compete and show them how wrong it is to put this forth. I mean, I'll be honest. If I identified as a woman for a powerlifting competition, I would break every single world record right now. And I'm not even that strong compared to other men that compete on the national level. No, my deadlift is, but nothing else is really. But if I went right now and said, I'm a woman, and didn't shave my beard and went off and powerlifted in a women's league, I would break the world record for deadlifting because I work out with more than that. I would break the national record for squats. I'd break the national record for bench by like 100 pounds. But nobody seems to care because apparently it's more important for a man that wants to be a woman to be accepted than it is to protect the actual women that are out there competing and doing it. And it's the same thing with the swimming. With you got the, what was it, Lee Thomas or Leon Thomas or whatever the hell the name was. Remember that swimmer with, I think, a college in North Carolina that was destroying all the women, right? Because he was also like 7 feet tall and he was a dude. You can identify as a woman all you want. I don't care. I don't care if a dude wears a dress and wants to walk around in public. I saw one person said, you will care when they're indoctrinating your children. Nope, because I'm a strong parent, right? And I parent my kids. Nobody's indoctrinating my kids except me. That's the beauty of being an actual fucking parent and being involved in parenting is nobody can control my kids. Only I can. Only I can. So, like someone said, if you're a Christian, you'd be concerned with transgenderism. Here's the difference between transgender and transgenderism, right? Transgenderism, in my opinion, is what they're doing in order to try to make it socially acceptable and make it so it's okay in schools and do all that stuff, right? That I don't agree with. Because here's the thing, like, actually, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care at all. My son, here's where I'd care, okay? This is where it could affect me. Say my older boy, right? That he has a friend the friend comes back to school the next year and wants to be called Susan, right? And the name was Sean, right? And the name previously was Sean. Don't name them. But the name was Sean, and now this dude comes back and he wants to be called Susan and is talking all different and stuff. If my son got in trouble for calling that dude Sean when the dude now wants to be known as Susan, then it would affect me. But I've raised my kids in such a way that if they're being told to do something that they fundamentally disagree with, whether it's because I told them or not, they will stand up for themselves. That is how I raise my children. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about it. And if there's consequences for my kids not going along, then we'll deal with it. But right now, there is no consequences for that. They have kids in their school right now that want to be called Julie or want to be called Shauna or want to be called this when they're dudes. You know what my son calls them? He calls them by the name. He calls them by their name, the name he knows them to be. If he knew some dude that wants to be a girl, but he met that person when that person wanted to be a girl and said the name was Julie, my son would probably say, actually, my son would probably not talk to me. He'd probably think it's a little fucking weird. And to be honest, do I fault him on that? No, I don't. That's like me saying, I have to fault the people. I don't fault anything. I don't know why so many. Valerie McKinnish said your kids will be affected eventually. No, they won't. You know why? Because I raise my kids the right way. My kids will respect other people. My kids right now know that it's okay. It's not okay, but there's nothing that anybody can do to dissuade. Fuck. Ugh. I don't care about a dude wearing a dress. And I've impressed that to my children as well. I don't care. And they don't care if a dude wears a dress. If a dude wears a dress and then comes into a bathroom and is staring at them creepy, yeah, they know what to do. They know what to do. But I'm not saying that it's socially acceptable, nor do I think it ever should be. I think it should be weird. It should be like when you see a dude in public picking his nose. It's the same thing. Like, where are your manners? What's wrong with you? Or a dude that goes out and punches someone in the face because he has no upbringing, doesn't know how to control his temper, or anything that's outside of social norm. I think that's it. Valerie, you keep saying you can't protect them from the world. Do you have children, Valerie, that are school-age children? Answer that question on Facebook, Valerie. Here, I switched software so I can do this now. So, Valerie, here's my question. Do you have school-age children right now? Because if you do, then you can be concerned with your kids. But here's the thing. If you don't have school-age children, why do you care what's going on with my kids and how we raise our children? That's the problem. That's how we got into this huge, awful mess that we got into in the first place, where the left was trying to control the right, and the left was indoctrinating kids in schools and all that stuff. Okay, so Valerie, you do not have school-age children. You have 5 grown children. So you do not have school-age children. So this is not something that you have to worry about. You could say for your grandkids that you have to do it, but the position that I'm in is one that you're no longer going to be in anymore, because you have grandchildren. They're your children. Your grown sons that got married and had kids, they deal with the thing. You don't. And I'm not saying it to be mean, but there's so many people that do not have children that are going out there telling people how they're supposed to raise their kids, which is wrong. It's wrong because that's what the left did. The left attacked the right, saying we know how to treat your kids better than you do. And now the right is doing the same thing to the left. Who cares? Teach your kids the right way. Teach your kids what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. You know, teach your kids to respect people. Would my kid not show respect to some dude wearing a dress? Absolutely not. He would show respect. Why? Because underneath all the fucked upness of that person is still a person. Although they may have their flaws, it's still a person. And we raise our kids to treat others how they want to be treated, regardless of any scenario that's around it. And that's the truth. And everybody has to realize that you can go out there and push for, the talk about indoctrination it's flipping, because I see it on the left, or I see it on the right now. The right says, oh, the left's trying to indoctrinate our kids. I think the right is trying to indoctrinate kids too. It's crazy. It's crazy, And that's what I fear, is that we're just going to keep getting further and further and further down into this mess where we can't even figure out what is really important. We can't, and that's annoying. Sherry said they're talking about the transgender powerlifter on Fox News. Yeah, see, and that's where the difference is. The difference between me and respecting a person is when you're infringing on someone else's rights, okay? You don't have inherent rights to be able to call yourself, well, I guess you would, but there's nothing that says, well, is there? I don't know. There should be nothing that says that I have to go along with whatever mental health issue you're in crisis about. And for anyone that wants to say being transgender, transgender ideology, or any of that isn't a mental health issue, I don't know what to tell you, okay? Because it is. And so for anybody else to say that I have to be not sympathetic, but I have to adhere to the guidelines that are imposed by one person or a group of people, like with the pronouns, that I got to use they, them pronouns and all that stuff. I'll never do that, because it's my right to make a choice of what I'm going to say. Do I respect your right to have they, them pronouns? Absolutely. Am I going to honor them? Fuck no, I'm not. If I see a woman, I'm going to describe it as a woman. If you identify as something other than a woman, good. That's what you identify as. Doesn't mean I'm going to, do it. And I know there are people that are getting sued or that are getting fired from their jobs, or teachers that are losing their jobs because they're refusing to call someone by their preferred pronouns. Well, that's because preferred pronouns don't exist. You only have two pronouns. You either have she or he. That's it. Or, him or whatever. That's it. There are no other pronouns. If someone wants to go by and say, well, all of a sudden I identify as a female, fine. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. You could be the biggest, burliest dude with the biggest thing, biggest beard in the world, and you could say, my name is Susan. I would say, okay, dude. And then you can be like, don't call dude. It's an expression, but I'm not going to call you Susan. I'm under no obligation to call you Susan. And nobody's ever going to be able to force me and tell me that I got to call you Susan, because it's not going to happen. Valerie said, you're not understanding, Steve. Yes, I am. It's simply, you're not understanding. You're not understanding that everybody should have the right to make up their own determinations. Kids are not subject to that right because they're minors. You know who that right falls on? Me. If I ever deemed it was important, so important of a subject that I'm going to have sit down. And matter of fact, we've had our sit down conversations with our kids about dudes in dresses, because they've seen them and they stare and they point and they do what every other kid does, right? And so we have conversations with them and say, listen, the guy's in mental health crisis, or the lady's in mental health crisis, whatever the case is, and they're wearing a dress. In those particular examples, they were in mental health crisis. They're walking down the street all cracked up wearing a dress. But I think it's a mental health issue. You wouldn't shit on someone for being depressed, right? Suffering depression, right? Would you? Valerie, would you stand up and say it's not okay to be depressed? We got to eradicate depression? Well, actually, yeah, you would say that. But again, eradicate transgenderism, which I agree with in the premise that this push to make it normalized, that needs to stop because it's not normal. If we address it that it's not normal, it's good because it's hurting kids. Because one day a kid may like to play with dolls, and then he's like, oh, they said on TikTok it's okay for me to call myself a woman. It's not okay. But you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. I think everyone is so hyper-focused on pretending that it's a much bigger thing. Or no, that's not the right expression. You know what I'm trying to say. I do declare. I think you know what I'm trying to say. Valerie said, we are talking about kids. We have to protect them. Do you know in California they can take your kids to trans counseling without the parent knowing? We have to protect the children. Guess where they can't do that? In Virginia. You know why I wouldn't move to California? Because I don't believe in their fucking policies. Anyone who lives in California, that's not your job. It's not my job in Virginia to speak against the policies that are in California. No, I could give two fucks. Doesn't concern me. And if it concerns you because you live in California, get the fuck out. That's the only way you're going to stop doing this. We don't need to go out and cancel culture. Like, dude, there's a huge difference between a dude wearing a dress and drag queen story hours. And there's a huge difference between drag queen story hours and drag queen brunch shit, drag dancing brunch stuff. There's a huge difference. All right? And if you can't see it, and if you think they're all the same thing, then you're flawed. And yes, I said it. Because to me, a dude wearing a dress and doing something or walking down the street while he wears a dress, being a dude, doesn't affect me. It doesn't at all. Hold on. But yeah, I mean, that's the truth. Valerie said, sorry, Steve, I believe in protecting all kids. Any adult can choose, but leave the kids alone. Again, you're missing the point. Nobody is making an argument that it's not okay to protect kids. Nobody on this show, at least. You're having an argument with yourself, Valerie, apparently. Because I'm not making an argument that it's not right to protect kids. What I'm saying is it's not your right to protect my kids. It's my job. It's not your obligation to protect my kids. It's my job. So all these people that are going out there trying to eradicate every fucking thing. Look, you can't even read American classic books anymore. You can't read them. First, the left attacked all the books, right? And got half of the books removed. And now the right attacked the books. And now all the other books are gone. And so kids can't even read books anymore. So what do? They play on fucking YouTube where dudes are dressing up as women saying it's okay to be transgender. Like, that's the progression. And now we're doing the same thing. We're just carrying on. Now we got to push every single, thing out of schools. We can't have any of that. It's not your job to protect my children. It's my job to protect my children. It's not even your job to protect your grandkids, Valerie. You have an obligation to do so, but if that fault and that responsibility falls on the children you raised that went on to have their own kids. You don't get to, and that's the truth. You have no legal right right now, unless you have custody of those children. You have no legal right to even make any sort of requirement for those kids' education. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Justin said, I think drag shows need to be 18 plus. What is going on now is disgusting. I agree with you. Because again, there is a difference between drag shows and the drag queen story hours, the story times, whatever. A lot of people want to say they're the same thing. And you can make the argument that a drag queen story hour, right, where they go into a public library and a dude is dressed up as a woman and he reads a book, right? Depending on what the book is, if the book is drag nothing, it's just some dude wearing it, it's fucking weird, right? But what about a dude that dresses, have you ever been to Disney World? They're grown-ass men that dress up as Mickey Mouse, okay? We all know about furries and shit like that. Or maybe you don't, but you see you don't want to. But why aren't we going around saying all that shit's weird? What about Halloween? Shouldn't we all be fucking up in arms about Halloween? Because everyone dresses different then. One day I may dress up as a doctor. Do you understand? There is a difference. I don't, and I've gone on the record about the drag queen story hours. They're different than drag queen brunches, drag queen shows, and all that stuff. Would I take my kids to one? No. If my kids asked me to go to one, would I say no? Yes, I would say no. You're not going to one of those because, again, my kids are under my direction. But I would never, ever go out. I would never protest a drag queen story hour because it's not my kids. It's not my thing. And you could say, oh, it's indoctrination. Okay, well, have you ever sat through one? Because I bet you haven't. I've seen the videos online. Yeah, of course, we see all the bad videos, right? All the where they're reading provocative stuff or whatever. Yeah, sure. There's those videos out there all the time. But there are also people that are just dressing up like fucking weirdos that are going out there reading books to kids. Do I think it's normal? Fuck no, I don't think it's normal. I think I'm on the record of saying I don't think it's normal at all. There's nothing normal about a dude that wants to dress up as a woman and live his life as a woman. I'm sorry, that's not sexist of me to say, but do I respect and would I fight for their right to be able to do so? Yes, that's individualism. That's it, because it is their right to do so. The drag queen dancing and all that, the drag queen shows, they should all have an age limit of 21, not even 18. All of them, because there's no reason why kids should ever be there. It would be criminal if it was regular people that weren't dressed up in drag. So why isn't it criminal when it's dudes dressed up as women? Valerie said, Steve, if your nephew is being groomed by his teacher, Valerie, give me one example of any of your children being groomed. One example right now. Do it right now in the chat because I've had about enough of this shit. Nobody in this thing that is outspoken about this has any examples of grooming. Nobody. That's the thing. You're all being fucking misled. Every single person is being misled about this grooming. Oh, our kids are being groomed at school. The fuck they are. I'm married to a teacher. I have 2 school-age children. They're not being groomed. You could say at other schools they're being groomed. Fuck that. They're not being groomed. People aren't parenting their kids, and you get pissed off because you allow your kid to sit on YouTube Shorts for fucking 5 hours a night. You allow your kids to hang out with other kids and do stupid shit. That's you. That's a you problem. It's not them grooming your kids. In all reality, it's you grooming your kids by your lack of parenting. Someone said it's hypocritical to say schools should not teach our kids stuff and then protest drag queen story hours. That's true. I don't believe kids are being groomed the way that the media is portraying it. I don't believe that my kids are not being groomed. Nobody in my kids' school is being groomed. Do they have policies and shit that I disagree with? Sure. But the grooming conversation, dude, that's them being puppeteers and fucking playing games with you. Corey said, so 4th graders getting take-home assignments stating they can be entered any gender they want. Do I think that's grooming? No. Do I think it's fucked up? Yes. And that's your job, Corey, to teach your child to write a responsive answer. If my kid came back in 7th grade and had an assignment that said, please explain why it's okay to assume your own gender, my kid would write a long-ass paper, my wife would proofread the paper, and my son would submit the paper. And you know what? It wouldn't be an argument about why it's okay. It would be an argument about why it's not. And then if the school fought back against that, then I would go to bat on it. But that's the truth. You know, that's the truth. Parents, oh God, the grooming conversation, I hate it. I hate it because you know why? It's being so abused. Remember that the cop that slept with all the people in her whole fucking precinct, right? She's saying she was groomed now. Everybody can use that as a scapegoat. Oh, I was groomed. I had no choice. I had to spread my legs. That's what that cop is saying. Don said there's a difference between grooming and teaching. Yes, there is. Someone said we're being groomed to violence. Okay, well, maybe I can agree with that one. Someone else said he doesn't get what I'm saying. You're not saying anything that I haven't already heard 5,000 times. I'm not seeing anything. And Valerie, you're awfully silent. You're awfully silent about how your grandkids are being groomed, or one example of your kids, actually you, the people that you're in control over, the people that you have a vested interest in, how they're being groomed. Because I'm not seeing it. You know? Someone said if you go on TikTok, there's a video of a kid reading a book about gays. Yeah. Yeah, that was a book that was apparently in a Maine public school library. And I'll be honest, I believe a lot of these books, and I'm going to piss a lot of you guys off. I believe a lot of these books and a lot of these videos that are going viral, those books are planted in these schools. I firmly believe that. I believe they're being planted in these schools because I don't think school districts are going to buy books that are going to be like, oh, watch dude talk about blowing dude too. I don't think schools are going to do it, no matter how left-leaning they are, because that's not normal. So the only thing I can assume is that people are sneaking these books in and putting them in there, or they're using it as propaganda to continue pushing a narrative. I saw that video of the kid. It was played on Fox News. It was played on other different shows that I've listened to. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. You know? But it's sad. Someone said, how is that not indirect grooming? What the fuck is indirect grooming? When I say planted, I mean by conservatives. I mean by the parents that want to get outraged and they buy these books. Why do you think, like, Tim Cass talks about all these books, all these horrible books that they keep catching at schools? Why the fuck does Tim Cass own a copy of each one of them? He's like, I got the book right here. I got the book right here. I got the book right here. And you're playing videos to perpetuate the issue. You know? Someone said you could be right. Sneaking books in, aka indoctrinating. Yeah, but you see, you're seeing you're not hearing what I'm saying. How many books are you hearing? Because the only books that we hear about that are in schools, right? There's a list of about 40 books, right? 40 of these blacklisted books that are in schools that shouldn't be in schools. And you don't hear very many examples of them actually being found in schools. Most of the time, they're not purchased. They're either donated or they don't even know how they get there because they're not indexed for the library. The majority of these books that are apparently being found in schools, they're not even indexed in the library's computer system. That's been known, but nobody reports that. They just keep saying the same shit. You know? I don't know, dude. Anyone taking and posting a kid reading a book is already guilty of illegal child photography. It's bad. Yeah, see, and that's another thing I hate too. Like, people were putting on this video of this little girl that was at a drag queen thing and she was performing, right? And everyone's like, oh, watch how sick this is. Watch how sick this is, as they retweet the video thousands of times. Thousands of times. All these fake ass conservatives that really care about children, really care about the privacy of all these kids, retweet the same video depicting this child, not blurred, nothing, and they put it out there. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. You know, there's a huge difference between that and these books that are being found in schools. These awful books talking about indoctrination. Blah. Stupid. Donald Van Schlack said Steve is turning Democratic. I don't know how you could think that is turning Democratic. If anything, you could make an argument it's libertarian, right? Where I feel that people should be able to make their own choices in life. But that's not a Democratic view. I believe other people should be able to make their own choices in life. I don't believe in removing books from schools. Granted, the 40 banned books, right? Because here's the thing. My wife is an English teacher in middle school. So I found the 40 books that are the most banned 40 books in middle schools across the United States. And I gave her that list. And I asked her to go to her school and see if any of those books have or were ever in the libraries there, because she has access to it. Guess what? Not a fucking book was there. Not a book. So I was like, well, that's weird. So I sent it to a teacher friend in Florida. Not a book was there. And I'm like, wait a second. These are the most banned books. These are what everyone is always crying about and saying, oh my God, they're indoctrinating our kids, except they're not there. Why are they not there? Victoria Bell Thomas said, no children should be able to make decisions. Yeah, you're right. Those decisions of children fall on the parents. That's what they do. They fall on the parents. You know, they don't fall on the kids. And what child is being forced to make a decision? A decision about what? Yes, there are examples of horrible, horrible teachers indoctrinating or grooming kids that it's acceptable to be transgender. We hear about it. Fox News puts it on repeat. You know, man, you know, they're like coming up at 8:00. A man lost his daughter after the school secretly groomed his child, you know, or whatever the conversation is. And they'll do that, and they'll put that, but they won't talk about all the insane amount of violence. How many of you guys know that there was a high school and middle schooler stabbed to death in a school here in DC last week? There was one in Georgia 2 weeks ago. 14-year-old girls stabbed another 14-year-old girl, killing her. Though, what do you think is more important? I don't know, man. I don't know. Kate said, I will say some of those books are in my libraries, and a middle school teacher have a suggested summer reading list, and 90% of the books were awful. Yeah. I mean, there are. I'm not saying they aren't in schools, and more often than not, they're going to be in liberal schools. But more often than not, they're not school purchases. It's not a school-wide indoctrination effort, as everyone wants to believe. It's not. And if you call this sticking up for teachers, if you call this a liberal perspective, I have two words for you: fuck off. Because it's not a liberal perspective. You know, my view is that everybody should be able to retain the right to make their own determination on what their kids should do, what I should do, and who I should respect. If you believe that it's wrong, I don't know. I think I've already talked about this ad nauseum. You know, I don't know. Kids don't go to read books about gender from the library, someone else said. Yeah. It's not, they make it a big deal, right? Because again, they want it to be a big deal because it's something that everyone could easily be outraged about. Everyone can easily be outraged because you have I mean, listen, the American population should be focused on preserving the innocence of youth, right? That should be the goal of everybody. So anything that threatens the innocence of youth, in terms of a media perspective or from a media perspective, man, that's gold. That's ratings gold. They can, you know, spit anything out. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. Postal guy came, but I'm not giving him the packages because I'm waiting for the coffee order so I could finish one package. Because I ran out of French vanilla whole bean, which is coming today. Oh, you guys want to see something cool? Check this out. Bam. Look at what I can do now. And you guys can scan that code, I believe. Like, watch. Let me. I didn't try it. Oh, look. Someone scanned the QR code. It tells me. Will it tell me if someone makes a purchase? That'd be cool. Like, watch. If you scan that code, look at that. It goes right to the website. High-tech stuff right there. So I'm going to put like coffee on there, like blueberry coffee and all that stuff. Isn't that cool? And then I have this one up there too, the coffee bug out bag. So pretty neat stuff. I don't care who you are right there. You may not think it's neat, but I think it's pretty neat. Look, 9 viewers scan that QR code. See? I wish I'm going to have the thing so when people make purchases, it'll pop up. But oh, look, it puts the comment in when I scan it. It puts it in the chat. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Did it go on all the platforms or just YouTube? Like, did the people on Facebook see where it says the Patriotic ASF bundle 125? Did it show it on all the platforms or just YouTube? Someone said, bottom line, it falls on the parents. Yes, that is true. You would think left-wing people would be pissed off about but see, and are you talking about all the money that they're sending to Ukraine when they could be using it here in the United States? I agree. I've made that argument with my wife, but what she says is that her belief is that the money's not going to be used here in the United States anyway, regardless. So at least it's going to some humanitarian crisis, some humanitarian crises. You know what I mean? That's her thought. I disagree wholeheartedly. But that's what she believes. But yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. Someone said, yes, it's here on Facebook too. Nice. See, that's pretty rad. Like, does this one show? Like this up here in the corner, that's the link for the Switch to America. Does it also put that in the chat right away? It's pretty, dude, like the way they get with the it's pretty cool how they do it. Oh yeah, look, it says 18 people have scanned the QR codes. That's pretty cool. So you know what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to do a special discount for every single live stream that'll be on a QR code. So when you see a QR code, I wonder if I could switch the side though. Can I? Does it let me? No. Edit. No, it doesn't. Save. That sucks. Like, I wish that QR code could be on the other side, like over here. But that QR code is pretty nifty. We're just getting it's cool stuff. Someone asked how the nonprofit stuff is working. Nothing's happening yet. Because in all reality, this is I'm trying to do a lot, right? But I'm trying to figure out, do I do the EMT training side or do we just supply non-vehicle transport kits for them? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I don't think you'll see, well, no. I see what you guys were saying about the code. But I know you see it on the screen when I put it over there. And there's two different things. Like, I could put it there or I could put it down there. You know? And then you could scan that code and it takes you right to the Patriotic as F bundle, which you can order now. We'll ship it tomorrow. And then you could be sitting on a gold mine of awesome incredibleness, right? So, because our Patriotic as F bundles are pretty amazing. But pretty much everyone who ordered coffee and has been waiting on it, you're all getting your coffee. The blueberry will be shipping tomorrow as well. The blueberry cobbler. I shouldn't put that up here. I wonder if I could do that real quick. Will it let me? Because you should order the blueberry cobbler. Plus, we have 5-pound bags of coffee now. Does it show up? Where is it? Huh. Let me see if I can't find it. Because I may be able to add that over to it. Yeah, look. And so if I add it to the list, it's pretty nifty. I don't care who you are right there. If you don't think this is some nifty stuff, I don't know what to tell you. It's adding it. So boom, there it added it. So now if I go like this, bam, bam, that's the blueberry. Look at that. Look how fucking high tech this shit is. That's the blueberry cobbler. So if you scan that, you could pre-order, which is going to ship tomorrow. The FedEx is coming today, which sucks because that's why I'm here, because I'm starving and I can't go anywhere because I'm waiting on FedEx to come. I'm going to have to leave though, because in a few minutes I have to go to the bank and make a deposit. And then I may just go to the post office and drop off all this coffee. But yeah, you should scan that. We haven't had trolls today, so there's no troll discount. But someone said, how do you scan the screen while you use the phone? Well, you shouldn't be using your phone. Well, you could if you wanted. But what I would suggest you do instead, which is much more high tech, right, is if you're watching on YouTube, you can watch my show on a big screen TV. You can watch it on a smart TV, right? You could watch it, and then when it pops up, you could be like, oh, there's a promo. Like I may do all the giveaways and stuff that we do, maybe that way, because then I can include everybody. So when I do like a giveaway now, I'll just throw up a QR code right on the screen. You'll scan it, you'll fill out your name and email, and then boom, everyone who does that will be entered into a giveaway or something like that, right? Different stuff. We're getting high tech here, high techie. And we'll see if even one person makes a purchase right now in the store, then it's worth it. I made my money back. If no one does, well, whatever. We'll make it tomorrow. Today was a low day. I had to kill all the Facebook advertising because it was driving so much traffic to the website, but nobody was buying anything that I was like, I can't do this anymore. But we had a good day on Saturday night. So that's good. What else is going on with you guys? Also, you see how my table moves and then that moves as well. So I'm going to take the camera and mount it to the wall so it'll be a little bit better. April said, how did I not know you were live? I don't know. Max Stone said, I respect you, but you are old enough to know that this trans youth delusion epidemic has blossomed over the past 5 years. Coincidence or indoctrination? It's fucking social media, dude. Social media. It's TikTok, YouTube. That's what it is. And who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Raise your own kids. I don't care if some other kid wants to wear a dress and all that shit. No. Because I believe in doing whatever. If it makes a dude happy to wear a dress, then I support his happiness. I don't know why so many other people care about it. I really don't. Do I think it's normal? No, I do not think it's normal. Do I think there's a mental health issue? Yes, I think there's a mental health issue. But that's it. Patricia said, it's been over a week, no coffee. I don't know what your order was, but seeing how you decided to ask, let me just look. Wait, your coffee went out already. I bet, because it's not under Patricia, is it? It's under Pat. I bet. Yeah, your French vanilla order has already been fulfilled, which you ordered on the 23rd of February, and it was delivered. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It was delivered in Arlington, Texas, if that's you, if you're the same one, which I can only assume you are. Unless this is a different. I don't have Awake Not Woke for you, unless you have 2 accounts, which you shouldn't, because that makes it hard for me to update. Because I'll just stop the show for this. Maybe it's this account. View all orders. No, see, that's the same one. This one was a t-shirt. Hold on. Someone said, heck, a man came into the store screaming about kids hidden under the Capitol. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Willis. These are the same account. See, I don't know what you did. You placed 2 orders the same day, one for a t-shirt. Yeah, I don't have Awake Not Woke for you. You could send me an email with an order number if you want. But because I don't have a Awake Not Woke order for you. I have a Patriotic as F ammo can. Oh, that's it. That's the Patriotic ammo can. That's the one which is shipping. That is shipping via UPS. Oh, I just dropped it off at UPS, I think, today. That's why. The ammo cans take longer. It says it right on the post. Now we're shipping them quick. Mima's Homestead said, can you check on 3 hats? I don't even need to check on that one. You know why? Because I know. I just got an email this right before I started the show saying that the embroiderer rejected one of the designs. So I have to see what it is, forward the other two and refund you for the one design and take that hat off of the store. But I don't know what it is, but I did get the email right before. So Mima's Homestead. I got that email right before this. So anyway, but yeah, if you guys want to support the show, go over and buy some coffee. Buy the Patrioticas F ammo cans. You can buy those. You can scan this code. I mean, we're super high tech here. If you scan that code with your phone, like you take your phone and you go like this and scan it with your camera open, boom, it goes right to the link. If one of you guys orders a yearly deal, I'll tell you what the yearly deal is. You get 12 months of cans for the price of 10, plus you get free shipping on every box, which saves you about $10 a month, and you get a 20% off permanent discount in our store. Hell of a deal. You could scan that code right there, bada bing, and the link should be in the chat because we're high tech like that. Or if you're really awesome, you could buy our pre-order for our coffee bug out bags. Each bag is going to include the tactical backpack and patch kit, 2 metal camping mugs, a water filtration system, books, patches, hats, stickers, shirts, all that good stuff in there, plus special edition coffee, which is changing because I can never I get too creative with those boxes. So I'm waiting. Hopefully, if I get some big sales today, I'll make the big purchase today. But I think I'm going to even do something even cooler for those. So you'll see. I probably will break even on those bundles, but whatever. It's worth it to me. So you guys get some cool stuff. But what else? Patricia said, "I'm not complaining. The coffee is good. The coffee's not good. The coffee is great. I mean, let's get that straight, okay?" What else is going on? I think that's about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live show tonight. I don't know. Part of me likes to relax, and I had a hard time falling asleep because I was on the couch, and then once I got the thing in my eye last night, or the thing, because you can't see because of the camera, but I kind of have a black eye because it hurt so much, and I think I may have punched myself in the eye once I got a dog hair because I slept on the couch last night because the little guy was in the bed, and I didn't want to wake him up. He looked really comfortable. So when I went in to turn off the TV and turned off the lights, he was all snuggled up next to mommy. And I didn't want to mess with him. Plus, I heard him earlier in the day. I tricked him, and I was like, "Go tickle mom." And then when he went up there and stood up on the bed to get ready to jump on her and tickle her, I tickled him, which made him flop over. And then he hit his arm on a book, and he started crying. And he's like, "You're so mean." I'm like, "I didn't mean to." And he's like, "I know." But Yep. You guys should go over to Pure Truth Coffee, buy something over there, even if it's just a bag of coffee. Our coffee's amazing. It shows that you like this show and that you want me to keep doing it, So far, we have no sales for the day so far, which is pretty bad. We need some sales. So go over puretruthcoffee.com and go. Melissa said, do you play any outtakes or play video games on YouTube? I don't right now. However, Matt Kegley is going to be very happy about this. Is now that I switched back to this computer, there may be some mandatory Counter-Strike. And I'm going to live stream it, even if you don't like it. I don't care. Because I like playing video games. God damn. Do any of you guys have an issue with the black hoodies? They completely attract every piece of fucking hair, lint, whatever, bunny hair. Look, rabbit hair is fucking everywhere. You can't even see it, but it's so annoying to me because it's super comfortable. But I'm gonna have to buy a lighter one. Baba Booey said, "I'll buy coffee if you admit Trump is the right man for 2024." I said if he didn't have all the baggage, he would 100% be the right man for 2024. But unfortunately, every single thing that he could possibly do in the White House in 2024 will be completely overshadowed by all of the baggage that comes along with Donald Trump. So that's why I don't think he's the right person for 2024. So, and that's to be honest. That's to be honest. Frederick Baldwin said litter boxes in bathrooms is discrimination. They need to install fire hydrants as well. That would be funny. But I think the litter boxes thing is fake. Look at that Corvette. Oh, you can't see. There's one of the brand new Corvette C whatever outside. Not pulling up into my store. Anyway, guys, if you could, someone just made a purchase in the store. I appreciate you. Just keep doing it. Keep making purchases. Just support it if you can. Like I said, probably won't go live today, but but I'll probably have a couple of shorter videos over the next 24 hours, and then I will be live tomorrow as well. And Ron Doyland said better was DeSantis and his red flag laws. I know you're regurgitating Laura Loomer's things, her Twitter comments without actually looking them up. I implore you to actually just look up some actual facts and stop believing the talking heads on social media. All right. Anywho, guys, thank you for watching. Let me see if this works. I'll see you tomorrow.